right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. My name is Aniz, and we have no guest today. It's just myself and Frank.
Woo!
If you're expecting another person, then you may as well just
Nope.
turn this off. No,
No,
don't
today
turn
I
this
can
off.
I can see if the cat wants to come. She sits up there on a perch, but she won't come sit on my lap while we're recording. Maybe I could get her on.
Sorry, listeners, you're going to have to settle for Frank and I for today.
Yep, that's okay. I've got a nice looking beard today. Nice hair. I've got a Wickner shirt on.
Of course, got a Wichter shirt on.
So we're good to go.
Today, we just kind of wanted to get into a topic. I know in some of the groups, it's been very, I guess, popular and unpopular at the same time. A lot of people are messaging in there saying that it's slow, or what's your car count like, and there's not much going on. So I just kind of want to touch on that because it's definitely a topic that we've seen quite a bit of. Um, for myself, like, we're personally having a record month right now, but again, I had a pretty horrible June last year, so it doesn't say much, but we're doing great for us in comparison to last June. But again, last June was not very good. I'd say right now it's starting to be a bit of a decline. We're not seeing a whole lot of cars coming through. It's mostly just emergency work. Someone, is hitting one of these beautiful potholes that we've got on
That's
on our streets near the shop, and
what I got to do. Build some potholes out front.
seriously, and they're coming in with their control arms that are completely like shattered or just completely screwed and have no choice but to fix it. But that's kind of the story on my end. Nothing to write home about at the moment. What about you, Frank?
It's been really weird. We were busy like all through the winter, through Christmas, New Year, like right up until we're in June now. Right up until almost the end of May, we were busy. And then it started to slow down, and we were keeping three guys full time busy in the shop. And right now, we've got some big jobs that we have to fuddle through, but I think really one guy that we're keeping steady busy. He's pulling good hours.
Yep.
But other than that, it's like you said, it's kind of hit and miss. Like I got one in the shop right now that's a blown brake line, which is going to turn into some other work and stuff like that. But it's a lot of, you said right now, it's breakdown stuff. And I think what
Yeah.
people are at the point where like their money is right here, so they're
Right.
like, yeah, it's tight, right? So they're waiting until they just absolutely have to, and then when they have to, they come in, and it's like,
It's a
oh,
disaster.
yeah, it's a disaster. We had one customer just a couple of days ago. Well, I mean, his fault for driving an eco diesel, but like really. So, but he's like, yeah, just give it a little check over, and it's like by the time that we're done, it was a $2,800 quote or something like that, and he's like, I can't do it. Well, we could pick at doing this and this and this. Oh no, you know what? Maybe I'll just park it for a while, and then
Yeah.
I might do it later. But well, and then there's some people like we were saying earlier that instead of leaving it with us and getting the job done, they'll take it away and they'll try to do it themselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are
Take
the
it to another
best.
shop,
I love it when they try doing it themselves.
and then it comes back.
Yep.
We've seen quite a few of them come
More
back.
screwed up than it used to be.
Well, yeah, and it's not like we're going to gouge them then, but it's like, okay, well, this is screwed up. Now we got to fix this. We got to fix this, and then had you just left it with us, you would have actually saved money. That's happened actually 2 times in the last 3 weeks.
I had
Would have left it with us, it would have saved you money. But you know,
if I remember correctly, I had a customer that needed. I think it was front brakes. I don't remember the vehicle. It might have been a Ford Fusion or something. And they gave them a quote, and they wanted cheapy pads and rotors, and I said, we're just not the right place for you. That's literally what I said.
that's a perfect answer.
They wanted a $300 brake job, and I said, unfortunately, at my shop it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Um, we just want to put good stuff on you. And no offense, but I don't want to see you again for the front brakes. And they're like, what do you mean? You don't want to see me? And I'm like, I want to do it right so that way I don't have to see you to do them again. If I
Exactly. Yep.
if I do that crappy, shitty brake job on your vehicle, you're gonna come back after 2 months that your brakes are hearing making noise and grinding and all that crap, and then you're gonna be pissed because you're gonna say I did a shitty job. So I'd rather not do the job that you want. But if you want it done correctly with good parts, it's going to be around, $600. And I'm using good stuff that if there's an issue, I'm just going to take care of it.
And that's the beauty of it. If you use quality parts from a quality supplier, you can take care of the customer and you can look after them. And if they have an issue with, like, say, brake pads, example, if you have an issue even a year down the road
Yep.
and it's something that's a defective part in the pad,
Yep.
like we've had that happen. The pad wears down halfway, and all of a sudden there's like a hard spot in the pad, and it starts to squeal, and it scrapes the rotor. We look at it, say, well, there's definitely something in the pad here. We call up our supplier. They says, yep, put new pads and rotors on.
Yep.
And well, usually at that, like after a year, then I guess, um, depending on the mileage. Oh, there's the half hour chime. Depending on the mileage, it would have, because I think it's like I think it's a 3 year, 36,000 kilometer warranty
Oh yeah.
that we're able to offer now for our parts.
Yep.
And so then, yeah, then it would definitely be covered. And like when customers see and understand that, it'd be like the value of that is there. Then if you have an issue, we had a shoot. There was a customer. He was his daughter, no, his niece was leaving our shop and driving to Ohio or something like that, past Ohio, and we put an alternator on their car. That's what it was. And so we told them, this is because you bought this alternator, this brand. Now you have um, a warranty that's nationwide on that part. It's
Yep.
nationwide here, and it's in the U.S. as well.
Yep.
So if you have any issues with this, you can just go to a shop that's branded by this company, and you can then go and get it fixed for free. He's like,
Yep.
oh, okay, well that does make sense. So there's the value in buying a
You got to
quality
show the
part.
value. If you can show the value, then
Yeah.
people will pay, right?
Well, that's just it, right? Like you can go and buy a alternator on Amazon, that'll work, or you can buy an alternator from uh, that other place that always gives you those magnets, that'll work. It, and it does. But man, have you ever tried to return something to that place that sells you those or it gives you those magnets?
Trying to think of what this magnet place is.
I don't know if I should say it on the
No, I
on
don't know.
the podcast. I'll text it to you.
You can text me after.
Everybody already knows. But the thing is, like, I I had one customer that bought a steering rack from there, an electronic steering rack for a Ford Edge, Ford Flex, something like that, and it went bad, and he tried to return it. And what they wanted is they wanted the old part returned first, then they would send you a replacement part. And I'm like, you do that, you take it out of the vehicle. Now the vehicle is down,
Yeah.
steering rack. You send it back.
Your
So
hoist
you're
is
gonna be. It's gonna be
taken
a.
out.
It's gonna be a week. Well, he ended up buying a used rack and putting it in
Yeah.
from, like, had to get it from the East Coast somewhere. It
Yeah.
had to get it shipped in just so that he wouldn't be down the vehicle. Then he sent the rack back, and then they sent him a new one. So now he has a brand new rack sitting there waiting in case the used one that he bought goes
And
bad.
hopefully that new one is good. Oh.
Exactly, right?
But you know
And,
that
and then that's all rebuild stuff, anyways. It's like,
that customer that wanted the $300 brake job, they ended up I'll use air quotes if anyone's not watching, doing it themselves. And I already knew this was going to happen. So I guess they must have jacked up the car, started doing the brakes themselves. I think they put if I remember correctly, my mechanic was telling me, because obviously the car came back to us, but they put in some. like the $18 rotors and the $12 pads, right? And they put the I think they put the pads on backwards. One side was on backwards, I believe, and they twisted the caliper so the brake line. So, because if you don't put it on there correctly,
Yep.
I'm not a mechanic, right? So you don't put it on there
Yeah.
correctly, that brake line,
Pigtail, they call it. Pigtail. Yep.
yeah, you pigtailed it, so all the brake fluid was getting stuck.
Yeah.
And then he drove with it like that for I think a day or two, and he started hearing grinding. And then I get a phone call, "Hey, this is so and so. I'm hearing some noise from my brakes." I'm like, "I know you need front brakes." He's like, "Well, I mean, I kind of did them." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so take it back to the shop that you got it done and get them to fix it." It's like, "Well, I mean, I kind of just did it myself at home, and now I'm hearing noise." And I'm like, "Oh, well, are you able to drive it over?" "No, I can't really drive it over because it's really hot on one side
Oh
when I'm
yeah.
walking by." So I'm like, "Oh boy, all right, well, go ahead and get that towed over." So $160 for tow bill later, which if you're listening, customer, I don't feel bad for you because it's your fault. But anyways, get the vehicle back, and David, my mechanic, he's already like pre-diagnosing the vehicle. He's like, let's see, so it's going to need a caliper, it's going to need that brake hose, front pads and rotors, and nope, we're not putting the white box crap in there. So what did he save? Zero.
Yep. Yep.
So by the time we were done with it, he was into front pads, rotors, a caliper, the brake hose. He was into the tow bill, and oh, and also, yeah, he was also into. I think he was into slider pins on one side. I think he bent the slider pins on that caliper,
Yep.
and he was into a boot kit. So I mean,
At that point,
at the end of it, but at the end of it, he understood. He's like, "I should have just had you do it." And I'm like, "I know." And I asked him, like, "What did you save?" He's like, "Nothing. This was a big waste of time." And I'm like, "It was."
I
But
there's
but at least at the end of it, he understood that it
yeah.
wasn't about us charging, you know, quote unquote $300 more or whatever than he wanted to spend. It was about, if there's an issue, it'll be taken care of. We're putting quality stuff on there, and
Well,
it's
it,
it's, it's just
it's not
you're
that
paying for the experience of the technician to do
exactly.
it
Yep.
properly. It's not like whether I put a $12 brake pad or a $120 brake pad in there, the labor is the same. But we're just not going to put crap in your vehicle. That's the difference.
And it's not like customers can't do, like, some of the customers, they easily can do their own work, and
Definitely.
and are like they're capable of doing it. But should they? Like, why? Like, that's like for me with my furnace at home here, let's say. Would I be capable of doing it? Absolutely. Should I, or do I want to? No, because, like, the money that I would save would cost me way more in other things.
The thing is, you're a professional mechanic. Let somebody that's a professional in that field just take care of it and let them be, they've got the liability insurance and they've got all the certificates, and let them just take care of it, because at the end of the day, you know do you really want that in the back of your mind if for some reason you forgot something that you were supposed to do, and then you're sleeping in the house and you didn't tighten something that you may not have known about? Like, is it worth it? No.
You said before about that customer who did their own brakes and then had a brake problem. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. My dad years ago had a,
Oh,
what the heck was it? Was it still when he had the Ford Explorer, or did he have the Windstar?
at least you didn't say Chevy Cruze.
It wasn't a Chevy Cruze. They didn't make them back then. So, anyways, he decided he wanted to do his own brakes. My dad was a mechanic in his prime days. on heavy equipment, right?
Windstar was a tank.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story with that thing yet. I rebuilt that thing. I'll tell it right now. I rebuilt that thing. The shop I worked at when I started, we bought wrecks from the auction and fixed them up. Well, that one was a wreck. It was a rollover. We freaking cut the roof off of that thing,
Oh my god.
put a new roof on, put all the doors on, all the glass in, and then painted it. Well, actually, there's a guy next door that painted it.
Jeez.
And anyways, after that, the we couldn't sell it. Nobody wanted it. And eventually, my dad needed a vehicle, and we sold it to him. And man, he drove it for years. It was the
Jeez.
best vehicle he ever had.
My memory for a Windstar when we used to sell, back at the dealership, like we used to have 50 something cars in the lot. We always had some Windstars, and I remember my dad was picking the van up from the auction, and the we always check the front hood to make sure it's latched down.
Yep.
So it was latched down, but then the latch failed,
Oh, fun.
and then the hood came up and smashed the glass while my dad was on the 401 in
That
the
happened to
fast
me on
lane.
happened to me on the road once. I wasn't on the 401, just on the main highway, but
He was
yeah,
on the
that's
401 going,
scary.
like 100 kilometers an hour, and he luckily was able to safely pull over, and a tow truck was right there. Got him loaded up in like 10 minutes. He's like, I'm not even going to tell you how much that's going to be, but you need me to get you out of here right now. So my dad's like, dude, just get me the hell out of here.
Hmm.
But that was a scary, scary thing.
Yeah. So back to that brake job that my dad was doing. So it was on the Ford Explorer. So he did the brakes, and then he calls me at the shop. This is way the day before cell phones. So he called the shop and he said, "Hey Frank, I did the brakes on my Ford, and it's making a bit of noise." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, no. Sometimes pads they take a little bit of time to wear in. They'll have a little bit of noise." Oh, okay. Well, yeah, all right. That was later on that day, or was it? Yeah, later on that day, he calls me. He says, "No, something isn't right. It's making a lot of noise." He says, "All right, bring it down. We'll have a look." He brings it down. I put it on the hoist, pull the wheel, and I've never laughed so hard in my life. And I felt bad later for laughing, but I couldn't help myself. So he had taken one of the pads and put it in backwards, and so then it was steel on the rotor. And
Ooh.
oh man, he felt so bad for that. I felt bad for laughing, but I thought it was hilarious. And here he had been a mechanic for years and years, rebuilt engines on Caterpillars and all that kind of stuff, and then a simple brake job, and he put the pad in backwards.
Oh, jeez.
Oh wow! So we pull it off, turn the rotor, put the pad back on, and it was good to go.
That was that was an instant fix, I guess, right?
Oh yeah. He was.
Nowadays, like no one turns rotors anymore, right?
Oh, I do.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. I've the machine is like today. Say that Jeep I was just telling you about. The the rotors were just rusty from sitting because I've been sitting for like since January. I think it's been
Yeah,
sitting there,
yeah,
and so the rotors look good, but just got a film on them
yeah.
from sitting there. So I put it in the lathe. The one rotor took one cut, the other rotor took two cuts. They look good as brand new. Put a new set of pads on it, and the braking is 100% on it.
Man, I
Now,
thought people don't really use those things anymore.
oh yeah, like will I do it for customers? You know what? Sometimes I will. Like there's sometimes I look at a rotor and it's like a rotor costs $60 or something like that, and I charge 40 to machine it. So like, yeah, that is not worth it. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Put a new one on, right? But if a rotor costs like $250,
Yep. Then I
and
can understand.
it just has a slight skim on it, or take a skip, sure I'll do that. So I mean, I still believe in repairing stuff. I don't want to just throw everything away.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But
that I understand. But if a rotor's,
oh no,
60, $70, it's not worth it.
no, and I'll sometimes I'll have customers come on, come up. No, she's running away.
Are you talking
Sorry.
about margaritas running away from you, or is it your cat?
No, no. If she was down here, she'd come sit on my lap.
Oh, jeez.
Um, I've had rotors before, or customers bring a rotor. They're like, "Hey, can you?" First they call us, "Hey, do you turn rotors?" Yep. All right. So they bring it down. Can you have a look at this? And I look at it. I'm like, nah, no. If there's rusty fins and stuff like that, not it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. I said I can machine them, no problem. That's not that I'm not capable of doing it. The machine will do it, and
Yep.
they'll look perfect. But you'll drive them for 3 months, and then they'll again
It's gonna be
because they'll
cracked.
overheat. I said
Yeah.
then you'll come back and say, hey, the rotors need to be machined again.
Yeah.
No, so no, forget it.
No, we've had such good luck with oh, thanks to you. Those the CarQuest was it the not even the platinum ones, the other ones with the gray center
Yeah,
on it.
the painted caps. Yeah,
Painted,
they're amazing. Yep.
been great. But I'm putting
Oh
them
yeah,
on everything.
it's a phenomenal product. It's a
I've
phenomenal
I
product.
put them on I don't know how many Teslas that we've done with the platinum or the gold, mostly
Mhm.
the platinum pads, and man, like great performance.
Now, speaking of Tesla brakes, do you find that most of the time you're replacing the Tesla brakes just for the simple fact that they're not using them and they're just rotted away? They're hardly ever wore out.
Yes and no. It depends on the customer.
Whether they have that like advanced braking turned on or whatever that option is.
You don't really have a choice. I think the older ones you can turn off regenerative braking to an extent. I think you can put it on lights, I think.
Yep.
But some customers like their brakes are just rotted from from not really using it and not doing any kind of brake burnishing or
Yeah.
taking a layer off. I mean, sometimes when you're driving on there's no one around you, if you don't kind of hit the brakes and work them in a bit, it's going to go to shit.
I see that a lot in trucks, pickup trucks that haul a trailer all the time. They'll
Yeah.
just got the cranked up trailer brakes, and the truck brakes will just rot away.
I mean, I've done some that are absolutely disastrous to the point where I had one car, in fact, that had 60K on it, and their pads were okay, but I don't. Maybe they never washed their car. Period. And the rotors were so rusted, and it wasn't even that old. It was a 2023. The
Yeah.
rotors were so rusted. They've had massive pits in it, and I told the customer like you could really use front brakes. Like, well, I've only got 50K, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm here's the pictures. I'm just showing you, like, whether you do it or not. I mean, that's up to you, but they were absolutely horrible. So, yeah, sometimes when I'm on the highway and I have to use the brakes, I do hear a bit of grinding, and I'm like, that'll be it.
Yeah.
But no, mostly those cars all, like I was telling you earlier, suspension. Anything over 70K on a Tesla, you start looking at suspension work right away.
I wish I had more Teslas around here that I could do that, get into that too. We have like I know of one person personally that has a Tesla, and that's the landlord at the shop.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't know anybody personally that owns a Tesla or any customers that have a Tesla that they take. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a weird dynamic. It's completely different
it's
out here
wild.
than it is where you are.
Yeah, we could have in a week we could have like 20 in a week come through. Whether it's for tires, repairs, or both. In the wintertime, we were close to like 30 a week for tires. But
Oh wow!
it was getting to the point where my guys are like, "Oh man, there's a Honda Civic coming through, or there's a Mazda 3. Whoa, something different."
Something different than a Tesla. Yep.
And imagine trying to keep all these key cards in order. So
Yeah, because they don't have uh, a loop where you can put a key tag on or anything, can you?
no, well, unless it's a Model S, then they've got like an actual. It's actually a little Tesla car that's the key. But otherwise, it's just like a thin credit card looking thing. So at some point, I could have four dropped off in a morning. So I'd have those four plus the other ones for the day. So I'd have like eight cards. So I'd have to get these little labels that stick onto the card and write the customer's name and license plate number on it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't just write the vehicle because I could have like four Model Ys and three of them could be gray. So I'm like, well, shit, whose car is this? Whose car is this? So
Yeah.
it was getting wild.
Do they ever? I guess their security is pretty tight, but do they ever like get confused with which key card goes with which car? Like you walk up
Mm,
to the car and it's like, oh, this one beep, but it's not the right key.
no, I mean it. Sometimes they'd forget to take their key back from me because they use their phone as the key.
Yeah,
So then, sometimes they'd pay and I'd have the key sitting on the counter for them, and they just walk away because they're not used to using it. Only when they come in for service.
yeah,
So then I'll call them like, "Hey, you forgot your keys." Like, I'll come back next week. Just keep it for me.
yeah. That's
But
a whole envelope full of car keys.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like I was
customers are weird that way. Some they don't care about their stuff.
no, but even that's dried up a bit. A lot of that work, considering I just bought a whole bunch of parts for it, but even that's kind of dried up a bit. We're getting a lot of phone calls. I'd say every other day for suspension work, and right now I'd say it's quieted down quite a bit. Just the odd phone call, odd appointment to have something inspected right now. And again, it's all emergency stuff. Like I can't drive my car. Emergency stuff.
Yeah. I was going to ask you a question about the with the keys for the Teslas. Do you find that you have customers that when they have a second set of keys that they'll come and pick up a vehicle and not pay for it, or like with a Tesla, how they could easily come and take that just using their phone as a key?
They
Or do you
could.
not have customers?
It would all be on camera because
Yeah, but
we have more
sorry, go
cameras
ahead.
than we need. I got like God knows how many, but
Yeah,
I'm not too worried about that. If it's a newer customer, sometimes we'll park the car inside
yeah,
and that's fine. Or if it's a regular customer that's been coming to us for a while, sometimes they'll e-transfer pay
yeah.
and they'll be like, "Hey, look, I've paid. Is it okay if I just pick up my car and I'll just pick up my key the next day?" Like, I'm cool with that because
Well,
I
as long
know
as
the
they paid,
customer.
no problem, right?
But non-paying customers, unless it's someone I really know and they're telling me they're going to pick it up and they're going to e-transfer me in the evening or the next morning, and a lot of these customers they store their tires with me too.
Yeah. So it's not
So
like they have any reason to stiff you, right?
yeah, so I mean, I cover all my bases. And if I have any inkling that it's going to be a situation, then I take precautions, park it inside.
Well, we've had to do that a few times too, but we had one customer. They just came and got their vehicle and didn't pick up the keys for like freaking 3 months, and it took over a month for us to finally get their payment. No, it took 2 months for us to finally get their payment out of it, and it's like, and then it's like, no, we just so then the next time it's gonna be like, no, we're just gonna park it inside.
Yep.
And then this one other customer, they always made a habit of doing that. Well, then lucky enough, they had just never picked up their other set of keys. So the next time it came for service, now we had both sets of keys. Then we did the job, and now it sat there and sat there and sat.
Yep.
We called, texted, finally got a hold of her and be like, "Look, you need to come get your vehicle. It needs to come out of our parking lot." Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've been meaning to do that. I was looking for my other set of keys. And Margaret was
Yeah,
like,
so you
"Oh,
can scoop the car up.
we have both your keys." So, oh, okay, yeah, that makes okay. Yeah, that's where they were. Okay, and then e-transfer sent, and then later on that night they came and picked out their vehicle. So we put both sets of keys in and be like done with it. But what they were wanting to do is they were looking for their keys so they could come pick it up and not pay us. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Good thing we had both sets of keys.
No,
Otherwise, we would have had to run.
it's getting bad, and
Yeah.
I I had I had a customer that was it today they wanted to get an alignment done on a Nissan Leaf, and I was like,
Oh, those are nasty cars.
yeah. From what I hear, we don't really, other than doing like brakes and stuff like that, I don't really touch them.
My wife's cousin has one. I'll ask you something about it after you tell your story.
But they want to get an alignment done. They booked it online. It was great, no problem. So my first question I asked him was like, okay, so why do you need alignment? And he looked at me. He's like, what do you mean? Why do I need an alignment? I'm like, well, like what makes you think you need an alignment? I mean, I am fine taking 100 and whatever bucks from you to do the alignment, but I just want to know like what makes you think you need one? Did
Yeah.
someone tell you you need one, or are you having some issues? Oh, okay. Well, my mechanic said I need one. Okay, so did you get some work done? Is something wrong with your tires? Like, why are you asking me all these questions? I'm like, I my job's to ask you questions, so I don't illegitimately take X amount of dollars from you for doing something that may not fix your core problem.
Exactly.
So I asked him some more questions, and I said, okay, so we're going to take a look at the vehicle. And has anyone looked at the vehicle? Is your suspension in good shape? Your tie rods, your ball joints, everything's fine. I'm like, okay. So we go outside, and I told my guys like, okay, let's take a quick look at this from outside before we get too much into it because something doesn't sounds fishy. So we go outside. He's got 17-inch wheels on the front and 16s in the back.
Nope, can't do it.
Alloys in the front, albeit, and steels in the back.
Yeah.
So what I really want to say was like, this is not a Ford Mustang, and we don't do staggered setup on Nissan Leaf. But I was like, what's going on with the vehicle? Yeah, I know. I've got the other two wheels at home. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I can't. Like, I have to enter in
Yeah.
the wheel size when I do the alignment. Like, I don't want to do half the job. Oh, I just needed a line. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, fine. I'll bring the other wheels. And can you put them on for me? I was like, sure. And he's like, are you gonna charge me? I'm like, all day.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how much? I said, this much. He's like, well, you guys are too expensive. I'm like, we are. That's it. That's why you came here and not to the other 75 shops that can do an alignment because you wanted us to do the job.
Yeah. Well, just tell them that the computer will reject it. Right. That's what I tell people when they want a safety check and
Yeah.
the odometer doesn't show up. And I tell them the computer is going to reject it before I even start. It'll ask, "Is odometer working?" I'll click no. Done. It won't even go past that stage. You
No,
cannot even.
it'll immediately send you to Brampton GPS.
I had a live audit the other day.
Oh,
I
jeez.
I haven't had one in a long time, but it was a motorcycle, and it was flagged as frame damage, and it was a motorcycle that I failed last year for having freaking high ape hanger handlebars,
Okay.
and I failed it last year, and now when that guy sold it, he never put it on the road. He sold it to someone else, and they put regular handlebars on it, and it was a nice
Oh,
bike.
that's why.
Yeah, but now it was flagged as frame damage, and so I had to have a live audit. I had to take a video, walk around the bike, show him the bike, and he's like, "Okay, yep, everything looks good. Checked it off the audit, pass the bike." I'm like, "Cool." So it does happen. For those of you that are asking, yes, they are watching. They do look at it every once in a while and make you videotape the whole vehicle. But
I think we had one because there was a vehicle that had a VIN that was not showing up properly on the system, and the VIN from the door and actual the door and the
computer.
dash VIN was different. So we scanned the door VIN,
Okay.
but that door was from another vehicle.
Yeah.
So then that flagged, and then we were looking. I was like, "What the heck?" We took a picture of it, and then it came up with the audit. He's like, "Hey, this vehicle apparently was scrapped like this many years ago." I'm like, "No, it's right in front of me." He's like, "Yeah, just double check the VIN here and there." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." Well, here's the correct VIN. He's like, "Okay, you guys are fine."
So what I do in that situation, or what I do with every vehicle, is I always take the VIN off the dash because
Yeah,
that's not replaceable. Then, if the vehicle will allow me to scan the VIN from the door, I'll
yeah,
scan that in, but I'll always compare it to my written down notes of the VIN on the dash.
yeah,
And then, of course, once you plug the dongle in, then it'll read the VIN in the computer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It has
And
to
that's
match.
why, like 99.9% of the time, there's a failsafe is there because it's gonna plug in
Yeah,
through OBD anyway. This was the one time where it was a freaking door from a random car, right?
yeah. It's. I mean, it happens. And a lot of vehicles don't even have it on the door anymore. They have it on the door pillar, so then you
Yeah,
can't replace it. But yeah, if it's on the door, you gotta watch that for sure.
Subarus and Buicks, I think they're on the door. I think on the inside pillar.
Yeah, I've seen so many Fords have them. Fords have them.
Some
You
of them on
literally
the
have to
back
open the
door.
door all the way. Have it on the front pillar.
Some of the cars, I can't remember which one it was. So it's on the back
Oh,
driver's side door.
listen.
Oh my god! One, we just keep waiting for Frank's clock to finish off here.
There we go.
Oh my god, Frank!
It was 10 chimes.
And at the 10 chimes, that's when everyone turns off the podcast.
No, now you got now. Now is when the fun starts.
Now is when the fun starts. We're switching it up now, Frank. Oh, jeez.
Oh man, that it just means it's past somebody's bedtime anyway.
That's
Apparently not.
always past our bedtime.
Yeah, yeah. I put that clock up just for you, so you could hear my chime.
I know you did.
I had these clocks. I bought them a long time ago, and I was gonna give them to my kids, but they are sensitive to the noise. I guess the
Yep.
and I don't know. I've gotten so used to it over my life. I've always had a mechanical clock,
Yeah.
and I don't even hear it anymore. I hardly ever hear the chime. I have to, if I want to know if the chime's still working, I actually have to pay attention to when it's going to chime and then listen to make sure that it's chiming at the right time.
I've
But anyway,
decided when my kids get older and they have a house, I'm going to hide very, very many miniature Bluetooth speakers all over the house. And they are all going to be programmed to my phone or a random device that I can access at any time. And I am just going to play random sounds from all the speakers whenever I feel like it. And when they ask me, I keep hearing these noises, I'm like, you know, all those times when I told you I was trying to work and I was trying to record a podcast or I was trying to sleep and you ran in and said, Daddy, I'm awake. Well, this is a little bit of payback. So
payback, yep.
go ahead and go and find all 26 of them.
You know what I always said when my kids moved out? I said I'm gonna go and leave every single light in the house on. They don't like that. I tried it. They don't like that.
Leave the
Uh,
front door open, you know, leave one shoe in front of the door and the other shoe at the back door.
yeah.
It's
You
funny
know,
how it doesn't. It's funny how it doesn't work that well. When you're at their house, right?
yeah, yeah. Your kids will grow out of that soon.
Eventually, they're still pretty young. I think right now my my oldest Nicholas, he's already finished the whole Harry Potter collection. Every book he's read them all.
Oh wow, I've
He
never
went
read.
through Dogman. He's read through. Now he's going through Dragon Masters and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This kid's read more books than I ever had in my whole life.
Nice.
And Now, like he's in, he's gonna be going into fourth grade, but he's already doing fourth grade math, and they're saying when he starts fourth grade, he'll be doing fifth grade math. I'm like, it's crazy.
My daughter was like that. She got so bored. She got so bored in class because she was way ahead in the math and in the English that she kept getting in trouble. So they kept calling us, "Oh, your daughter's creating problems." And then it was like she's bored in your class. So they ended up making her do the next level of math. And then when she was done that, then she would still stop and then help the other kids do their regular level math.
What you should have said is, if you think she's disruptive, you should meet her dad.
Exactly. This guy.
Oh man.
Yep.
But I think going back to the original topic, I think this is gonna blow over here in another few weeks. I think July, once the weather gets a bit better, a little bit nicer outside, I,
I
I
see
I
it.
think it's gonna change. Well,
No.
I think it's gonna be better for us in one way because once it starts getting hotter, there's gonna be more things going wrong with the vehicles when it comes to radiators and
While air conditioning, you called me earlier about air conditioning.
yeah,
That's surprisingly hasn't been crazy ramped up yet, but I see it's starting to come now. But
yeah,
it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a killer year for AC work.
yeah. I think so too. I'm trying to get a bit prepared. I ended up getting that job, so I got to do something to sort that out. But I think I'm gonna end up buying a machine that does both because
Okay.
my R134 machine is kind of iffy-ish at the moment. One of the gauges works and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I bought that used from a garage that was shutting down as it is. So I've used that for the past 5 or 6 years. It owes me nothing.
Yeah.
And I can probably sell it for what I paid for it.
Oh yeah, very likely. So people
So
want the older machines because they
yeah,
have
yeah.
the problems with the new machines.
So if I sell that one, I think a new dual machine is, I think it's pushing close to about 9 grand, 10 grand.
Yeah.
So you do 10 good AC jobs, machine's paid for. That's basically 10 compressor and refill and everything, and you basically paid for the whole machine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It can be a lucrative business, but it's also probably the worst because if you don't find every single leak and then they come back, or you just have to really explain to the customer that it's one of those things you cannot guarantee. Hey, we had one, we brought it in and pressure tested it, and it had a very obvious leak at the one of the rear lines that goes. It was a Toyota something, Toyota Highlander.
yeah, yeah,
The rear line that goes into the rear evaporator core was rubbed through, had a hole in it. So we're
yep,
like, we sold them the evaporator core, the line, expansion valve, and the recharge and everything.
yep.
So we go to do it, and we do a pressure test, and that's what it was. We went to do the pressure test again
Hmm.
to verify. Well, shit, if it wasn't leaking at the front evaporator core now too.
Oh God,
And it was like, how in the world? Like, what are the odds? So, so
that
then
must
we're
be
like,
an
well, now we
interesting
got to do the front
conversation.
evaporator core, and so I think we delayed the work for a week, and then we did that,
Oh
and
God,
he was like, "How did that happen?" I'm like, "Well, there was a major leak. When you find a major leak, you can't find a small leak. It's
yeah.
impossible. We had to do that first." And he's like, "Well, I guess my whole AC system is new because last year we put a compressor on it." So
Jeez, you better keep that car for a bit now.
yeah, he better because I think in total now he spent like $4,000 or $5,000 just on his air
Oh,
conditioning.
jeez.
Yeah, like when
Remember
you
when you
quote,
used to be able to buy a car like certified for that much?
I remember when you used to be able to buy a car certified for $1,500 to $2,000.
What, with the tires?
Yep.
Jeez.
Hey, listen, I know you've always lived in a city and you don't understand what small town rural stuff is, but yes, and I've even over my course of my years have bought and sold cars for $1,500 certified.
Holy. I remember going to the auction, we'd buy 9 or 10 cars in a night, and we'd buy them at the auction anywhere from 1,500 to 5 grand, and they
Yep,
were nice cars.
yep.
But now, no chance, man.
Uh,
You can't buy
no,
nothing like that.
no, the price of cars has gone through the roof.
And that's another reason why people are spending the money to fix their cars right now, because if they're going to spend 1,500 bucks to fix their car, but if they want to buy something that they like, or they could be spending 8 to 15,000 minimum.
You know what's really going to help the used car market if it passes? I seen Pierre Polyev was announcing they're trying to scrap the GST on used vehicles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would do like a complete HST because the video I saw today talked about, um, you know, uh, why do we have to pay tax over and over and over again
On
on a
a
used
vehicle that's
vehicle?
already been freaking taxed.
It was taxed when it was new. Why does it have to be taxed again and again and again? And so that's one thing they're trying to push through Parliament. Man, if they do that, that'd be fantastic. And that would make the used car market skyrocket.
Oh, it'd be nuts.
Oh, it'd be insane. You wouldn't be able to keep them on the lot then.
No, I mean, you got a car that was 65 grand or whatever, brand new, and then X amount of years later, so it's being sold for 30, and it's 30. Like, that's it.
Yep.
Not 33,900, or
Yep.
I probably did that pretty close. I
You're
think,
pretty close. Yep.
yeah, 3390. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's 3-4 thousand bucks.
Hmm.
That sometimes that's a make or break whether someone can afford the car or not.
Yeah. 100%. I was talking to Margarita and I were talking about that yesterday. There, it used to be. I remember when I worked at the dealership. Um, Before the HST, before the two taxes combined, if you bought a car um, on the side of the road and then you went and registered it like at the license office and paid the tax there yourself, you were only paying the PST,
Yeah, I
which,
remember that.
right? But if you bought it at a dealership, you had to pay the both the PST and GST.
But did you have to declare at the ministry it was on the side of the road, or could you have gone to someone's house?
It could have been a barn find.
Barn fire. Yeah, I remember the before, because that was an excuse people would say, is like, oh well, if I buy it privately, I'm only paying one of the taxes.
Yeah, saving
I
money. Yeah.
remember that. But still, and my argument to that would be, you're buying it from a rando, but you're buying it from a registered dealer. There's definitely advantages when if there's an issue with it. There's Omvic and this and
Yeah.
this and that. But I could definitely understand the savings was huge when
Yeah,
you're
but
only
the whole
paying
point of
one
it, why did they have to make a difference on the tax, whether you bought it private or whether you bought it from the dealer? It shouldn't have been,
No, it
right? It
shouldn't.
should have
No,
been the same. It should have
the
been the
same,
same tax.
same shit.
But yeah, so when HST came in, well, that changed all of that, and people got all frustrated about that. So if they are able to push this through now, it's going to go back to the way that it was 20 something years ago before HST started.
But I don't think they'll ever get rid of the tax on used cars.
Not fully, no, but they're trying to get rid of a portion of it, cut it in half, basically.
I don't know. I think the government needs the money.
Stop giving it away overseas, and then they would have lots of money.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen.
It's
We're
not.
we're too worried about everyone else's problems right now.
Yeah, really. Listen, I'll tell you, without getting political or whatever, I'll tell you, I was helping with a charity barbecue, not even charity, but a barbecue on the weekend, and really saw people that were in desperate need, like desperate need. And then you think about all of the money that the government wastes, and the whole idea of this barbecue was that there was a program that was shutting down because of government defunding it,
Oh, I
and it
see.
was like what? And then you hear about all of the wasted money that goes overseas, and it's like, how stupid, how absolutely mindless are you? And you're in leadership, and you're in the role of our government, and then you're Anyways, that's enough of that. Back to the auto industry.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, there's things that are completely out of our control, and all we can do is try and do the best we can for our industry. And
And
part
that's
of that, leading into the this Thursday, Mister Buckaroo Bob
firms coming down.
is coming to collect on his bet.
Oh my gosh. I was warned now later. We were in a Zoom meeting on Friday, and we mentioned this wager that partook on our podcast,
Never bet with Buckaroo Bob.
and they said, "Oh, you don't ever make a bet with Buckaroo Bob."
Man, he's
Like,
collecting, man. He's
now you
collecting.
tell me. You could have told me this before I got to know the guy. So he's coming to collect.
But what I mean, he's
But
he's one of a kind. Like, who
he's
does that?
he's also
Really?
bringing me a bottle of whiskey, so it's okay.
No, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so we're seeing John on Thursday. That's gonna be fun.
I'm still trying to work out. I got kids' graduation that night, so I'm trying to figure out how.
I I I think that well, as soon as you said kids graduation the other day, I'm like, you know what? Your priorities are your kids and your family. That's where
Oh
it's gonna
yeah,
have to stay.
it's at. I think it's at 7. By the time it's done, it'll be 9.
Yeah, but then you got a 3 hour drive, and you ain't gonna make it by then.
Yeah. Well, by the time he's landing at 9:30,
9:30 out
10.
of there by 10. So
Yeah,
then by that time we'll be back at our house sleeping. By the time you
yeah.
go here.
He's got to change his flight.
No, you just have to make sure that you get to ASTA on September, and then you get to see him there.
I know. That I'm working out. I'll figure it out one way or the other.
So we had a cool, like I said, a meeting on Friday, and found that there's another uh, in the coaching that we're doing. There's another member that's from Alberta, and they are in Calgary, and they are like 30 minutes from the Calgary airport, and we are flying there in September, and they're like, you know what? You're coming to see us. So this is cool. Our flight is coming in at like 9:30 a.m.
You going to Calgary in September?
We're going to Calgary in September, and
Is that like are you? Is that your
the week
stopover?
before, the week before,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yeah. So, anyways, so they invited us. They said, "Hey, come down and see our shop. Come down and see us." So it's pretty cool. We haven't ever met them, but we're in this coaching group together. So they said, "Yeah, you're coming down to see us." So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
So yeah, this networking thing is really working out,
You got
and meeting
a lot
with
of traveling
people.
compared to the first time we started talking, man.
Oh my gosh! But September is crazy for us. Like, we got lots going on in September.
That's
It's
good.
we're trying to not do too much in July and August, so that when September comes, that we can be like push through it. But yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think it's going to be amazing, and I just wanted to do a quick little plug here for ASTA. It's September 24th to the 26th in North Carolina. If you go to astausa.org, you go right to the homepage, and you will see Mr. Benji Burris on the front page, staying next to Mike from Confessions of a Shop Owner. and you can register and come meet us. I'm 99.9% got it all sorted out. I'll be there. Frank has zero choice but to be there. He's already booked.
Yeah, already
And
booked.
you're going to be able to meet some really cool people. Jeff, Jada Mechanic's going to be there. Tanika, I'm sure will be there. There's going to be tons and tons of people there. And like I said, there's nothing like it. Went last year. North Carolina is like a my other little family out there in the states. I mean, I definitely would recommend anybody to go if you're in the automotive industry. And yeah, it's definitely end of September. If you can make it, make it. If it's about the money, charge an extra $10 each repair order from now until September, and you'll have extra money left over after everything. Trust me, it's worth
Yep,
every penny.
that's right.
But on that note, Frank, I think we're gonna call it a night. I'm gonna go have some dinner.
It's bedtime. The clock chimed already.
I know. That's why I'm saying it's what is it, 10:20 at night right now.
Yep.
Yep, past both of our bedtimes. Thanks, Frank, and we
Yep.
will talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please visit us on Facebook, the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. You can follow us on there. We're also on YouTube. You can just search for the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. And thank you for all the followers and listeners. We really appreciate it. And we will talk to you next time. Thank you.